Hi, this is Joe again with another review. And for the sake of this video, I'm going to be discussing the Dirty Harry movie series. And of course, this is one of the few movie series that really been talked about. And of course, the all the movies, of course, star Clint Eastwood as Dirty Harry Callahan, a police inspector from San Francisco police force. And of course, this movie, of course, made his career more into the mainstream. Because before then, the majority of his movies to that time were, of course, was all spaghetti westerns. You know, The Man with No Name, The Outlaw Dorsey Wells, and of course, at that time, westerns were starting to be slowly being phased out by Hollywood because it was being a tired trend. So, of course, by the 1970s, the movies became more realistic and more vigilante type movies. Like later on in the 70s, you have the Death Wish movies, and of course, 1970, also the same year as the first Dirty Harry film. You also have movies like The First Connection, and which won the Academy Award for Best Picture, by the way. And you had those realistic anti-hero type films. And of course, and Dirty Harry was hit right in the middle of it. The first one, of course, is stars well, all of them star Clint Eastwood as Dirty Harry Callahan. And in the first movie, he follows a serial killer who's trying to kill a person a day, and if he gets a ransom like $1 million from City Hall, or from the city of San Francisco and the state. And of course, the villain was played by Superco, who was played by Star Trek fans will recognize him. Andrew Robertson, who of course had played the part of Garak in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, plays the villain in this one. And of course, you have of course the catchphrase, "Do you feel lucky?" Well, do you, punk? The first of the line where he actually did that bit twice. He did one in the beginning of the film where he's chasing a robber, and of course he had a gun with a 44 auto mag, which of course was his gun, like the Walther PPK was the gun that James Bond used in the James Bond series. And of course, they say, "Oh, I'm not sure if we should fire five shots or six." Well, do you feel lucky, punk? And of course, that time he did the punk didn't feel lucky because he gave up, and he actually Clint actually fired all six shots. He proved it to the guy. Of course, at the end of the movie, where he was chasing Superco, uh, he did the same bit, and of course, he the guy felt lucky, and of course, Clint Eastwood shot him and killed him in the end of the movie. And the first one was directed by Don Siegel, who of course was also the mentor for Clint Eastwood for being an Oscar-winning director himself. So, but the first one was more vigilante type justice that Clint Eastwood had, because he felt that he's the one who always cleans up after everything, and that's why they call him Dirty Harry. Um, but I felt that the first movie was a very good film, and it's surprising I actually liked it because I'm not a huge Clint Eastwood fan, and I haven't seen very many of his films. But I have seen the Clint Eastwood movies because I figured that's his most famous character that he ever played in the films. Of course, the second film came out about, I think, 2 years later, called Magnum Force. And of course, most people consider that one to be the best of, other than the original Dirty Harry, to be the best one in the whole series. Because this one, the villain was Hal Holbrook, who of course was also played Death in All the President's Men. He led a group of vigilante police officers. Every time a criminal would make bail or get off on charges, these four cops would hunt him down and kill him, which is different than what Dirty Harry was doing. He would try and bring the criminal to justice, and if he has to kill him, he kills him. But we're mostly in self-defense if Dirty Harry kills somebody. But these guys just did it if guys got out, made bail, or got off or whatever charges that were filed against them. And of course, Dirty Harry, of course, beats all four of these guys at the end, and it's really great thrill ride to see how Clint Eastwood gets out of all that, because it's four against one, or five on one if you count the Hal Holbrook character. Well, the one that's really the most forgettable one of the whole series is the 1976 movie The Enforcer. One of the only things notable about it is they had a pre-Kenny and Lacey, Time Daly playing his partner in that. Of course, one of the gags in the Johnny Herring films, except for the last one, which I eventually will get to, that all his partners get killed. And the most notable thing in The Enforcer was that there was a group of former hippies who kidnapped the mayor and were holding him in Alcatraz, and here comes Clint Eastwood and Tyne Daly to save the day. It was pretty much what the film was, and it's pretty forgettable. I mean, I kind of liked it. I thought it was alright. I thought it was a fair cop movie, but it's not a taut thriller like the first two Johnny Harry films were. The fourth movie in this movie series, believe it or not, only have 5 films in it, which is one of the smaller and shorter um, movie franchises compared to, like, say, James Bond, which is over 20 movies, or Star Wars with 7, or Star Trek, which has like 12 movies, or 13. There's going to be a 13th one this year in 2016, but Johnny Harry only has 5. And the only ones that are shorter than that is Ghostbuster series and the Romance in the Stone films. So shorter as franchises compared to Johnny Harry. The fourth movie, which is actually the first Johnny Harry movie that I saw all the way through, was the 1983 film Silent Impact, which is, like I said, it was the first Johnny Harry film I saw all the way through, and it's about a rape victim whose gang got revenge on the people who raped her. Because she was attacked by a gang of rapists and she was going after them one by one, and Johnny Harry has to stop her. And now the twist in this movie is that he actually met the woman who was raped, and he started to have feelings for her, kind of like a love interest in this one. But unfortunately, he kind of figured out, because for following the clues along, that she was the one who was killing all these guys in revenge for raping her. And of course, we pretty much knows what happens in the end of every one of these Johnny Harry films was that the villain dies at the end of the movies. Spoiler. They so, but I thought I thought Sudden Impact was a good movie, and Sudden Impact was the movie that gave the line "Go ahead, make my day," which everybody knows. Everybody thought it was Ryan Ray, but it was actually in the fourth movie of the franchise. The last movie of the series was the 1988 film Deadpool, which I actually saw in the movie theaters. I thought that one was a pretty good film, because it kept me guessing through the whole movie, even though that silliest part was when Johnny Harry and his partner was being followed by a remote control car that had a bomb on it. I thought that was kind of silly, kind of cartoony, but it made it interesting because it was a cliche bit, but a cartoony bit, but it was good enough for a Johnny Harry film, and thankfully this was the last one in the whole series. But one thing that made notable of the Deadpool, which of course was a list of celebrities and to get killed with like a game, but like the pre-internet days. And of course, the more celebrities you kill, the more better chance you have of winning this game. And of course, Johnny Harry being, at this point, a celebrity, or a celebrity cop, was on this list. The only other notable interest of this film is that you had an early appearance of Jim Carrey, pre-Living Color, and also you had Liam Neeson, pre-Schindler's List, in this film. So it's kind of cool to see these two guys in this movie, and by Jim Carrey playing a straight part, which not an over the top comedic character, which was nice. The only movie I see him in that wasn't over the top comedic part was in The Truman Show, or The Cable Guy, which Cable Guy I haven't seen. But those are only other roles we did was a comedic character, and I think this was the first movie that Jim Carrey did. Liam Neeson, I'm not too sure of, but It was kind of fun to see those guys in this movie, and the whole. I think the whole movie series as a whole is pretty good. And it's good entertainment. If you like Clint Eastwood, naturally you gotta see these movies. If you're a Clint Eastwood fan, you gotta see the Dirty Harry films because those are the movies that, other than the westerns he did, which I mentioned at the top of this video, are the only movies that, or the roles that Clint Eastwood has been known for. And like I said earlier, this is pretty good mass market entertainment. I do remember when Sudden Impact and particularly Deadpool came out. I thought, oh wow, another Dirty Harry film. Um, and it was particularly the last two hyped because they wrapped up all the uh, lines for him to utter, like "Go ahead, make my day." Because that line was actually, like I said earlier, was in the movie Sudden Impact, and it happened pretty early on in the film. When the film opens up, Dirty Harry goes into a diner to pick up his usual breakfast order, coffee or breakfast order or something. And he noticed something weird was going on because he got like extra sugar in his coffee, so I knew he was trying to tip him off. He goes back into the diner to complain and notices it was being robbed. And of course, he pulls out his gun to the robber. He says, "Go ahead, make my day." And of course, he shoots the burglar and or the thief, and that's the end of that bit. But of course, that line, people assume that line was only in the first movie, or only on in the series. Kind of like with Jason, the Friday the 13th movies, they thought that he was the killer in all the Friday the 13th movies, and it wasn't true. If you ever see my Friday the 13th review, please check that out, and you see what I'm talking about. But Dirty Harry never said, "Go ahead, make my day" to Sudden Impact. And unfortunately, he never said that line again for the rest of Sudden Impact or in next film, the Deadpool. But I actually did like the Deadpool, even though a lot of critics panned it, saying it was too cartoony and too silly, and it wasn't that overly dramatic or attention-filled movie like the other Dirty Harry films were. But me, I kind of liked it. I give it positive, except for maybe uh, for most of the series. I have seen all the movies of one time or the other, um, but I actually, well, I do want to see Dirty Harry movie again. The whole thing filled, all these movies filled, um, without the non-edited versions. Because the movies that I've seen is mostly the edited versions. The ones that are to the cursing out or whatever nudity that's in there, if any, all the bloodshed, the politically correct edited versions. And I like to see the movies that are not edited out, or the cursing or the violence and just to see the whole thing, the completed version. My pet peeves of seeing those movies on regular television. As a matter of fact, today during this video, AMC is showing all the Dirty Harry films, so I figured do a Dirty Harry series review. But I know I went through the movies kind of quick, uh, but I do enjoy the Dirty Harry films for what they are, and that thing got me interested in watching some Clint Eastwood movies, at least the more recent ones, and not the Western ones, because I'm not a big Western fan. But to see Clint Eastwood actually doing these films, but particularly in the first Dirty Harry film, he did, and in a lot of Dirty Harry films, he does play it off like his Western characters, but there's very few lines, especially the last segment of the film, when he's going after the villain to kill him, and they doesn't say very few lines, just kills the villain, and then he walks away, and that's how practically all the movies end that way. And it's surprising the movie franchise only had 5 films in it. I thought there was a lot more normal films to that. I guess now Dennis was like too old to play the character now. But I wish, like I said, I wish they made other films, particularly during the 80s, because there were only like two of the films, the Dirty Harry series, were in the 80s. They were like 5 years apart. because Sudden Impact came out in '83, and the Deadpool came out in 1988. So I wish that things would did another movie in between those two, or between the Enforcer and Sudden Impact. So instead we can have like 6 movies. So that's the review of the Dirty Harry series. Please click on the video, please rate it, please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. You can check out all of my videos on my YouTube channel at rallyc.com. It's all WDY, C.com. That's all pages of Rally Reviewer. Please check out his website for all of his content. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.